What is up, y'all? We have got another UAA Summer Split Series coming at you. Sorry about this delay here. Did not think I was going to be able to make it to stream this game, but things worked out and I am able to stream. So on the blue side, we've got Red Maelstrom facing off against Despacito 2 in a weekly matchup of the Alaska Summer Split hosted by the UAA Esports Club. Right now we've got tied 1-1. We had some spicy bot lane antics. Looking at the two game calls from both teams. We got Nar in the top lane, Trundle jungle, Irelia mid with the Vlad and Baron bot lane. On the side of Despacito 2, on the side of Red Maelstrom, we've got the Recon support going in onto the Baron bot lane. Good trade off. For Red Maelstrom, we have the Moonbed top, Oliver jungle, Echo mid, Vayne ADC with the Recon in the bot lane. Yeah, this is game 1 of this series. Don't wait. For Despacito, I think Red Maelstrom do have one win on the season. Sitting at 1-2, I believe Despacito 2 are sitting at 1-1 on the season. Looking to, or I think both teams are 1-1 actually. Both are looking to go 2-1 after this series. On game that. And onto the Brand, going to get a lot of damage off him. That will be Brand going down. Oliver and Echo are also here for this dive, and that will be Vlad and Brand going down in the bot lane for Despacito 2. A very well set up dive for the side of Red Maelstrom. Definitely good to get that off as we see DBSN on the side of Despacito 2. Usually does have a decent goal lead for himself and does once again, but we do have a jungle duel. The jungle doing Oliver and Trundle. Echo's coming in for this one. Gonna focus onto the Brand. Oliver going to take down this Trundle, but is going to be extremely low. Irelia coming into this. Will she be able to clean up here? She's taking Vayne very low. The Ignite is ticking. Will she be able to get out here? It does appear that they will be able to escape just barely, or otherwise maybe not. Gonna knock her away, and that will be Vayne going down. Check. Ooh, Brand getting some vision down. Gonna have to flash out here to survive. And Red Maelstrom being really proactive on the map here. Laning wise, maybe not doing the hottest. Volibear does have a 3-kill advantage over the enemy Trundle, so what I've noticed from Red Maelstrom, they're really team proactive, so their mid laner will look to roam a lot with the jungler to get advantages in the bot or top lane, and that's exactly what they did here, getting an advantage for themselves in the bot lane. Rakan going in here. He's gonna miss the grand entrance after landing the charm, and that might cost them the kill here. Not entirely sure, but no, they will still get that. And Volibear is popping off here with 4 kills to start off the game. Very well done there. Despite Rakan missing the grand entrance after the charm, they're still able to capitalize for themselves. And that is a 6-3 kill lead over to the side of Red Maelstrom. Like I've said, Despacito 2 have definitely struggled to make early game plays, but their laning prowess has been undeniably their strength for sure. But oh, let's see, Mundo going in onto the Gnar, has the ult ticking, but Gnar able to take him down with the ult, with the wall, turning mega there. Mundo just not really knowing his limits there. With the Gnar, with the executioners, is able to take him down there, and that's gonna be a significant advantage over to the Gnar. With Mundo's TP down, Mundo will lose a good amount of minions there. Little trade in the mid lane between Echo and Aurelia, but nothing too much. Oh, Volibear catching out Trundle, going a little deep into his jungle, but his top laner is not here. But does Volibear even need him, though? Let's see. Gnar is looking to join here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Aurelia barely living with just enough HP there. And that is a very close 1v1 that Aurelia does take there. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, wasn't able to see it, but Vayne did end up going down to Vladimir and Brand in the bot lane. And that is slightly tragic for the side of Red Maelstrom, as they gave themselves a decent lead, but have now seem to be losing it just in the standard 2v2s and 1v1s. Just some really unfortunate 1v1s here, and Rakan even going to go down, trying to overstay here, trying to keep this turret alive, but will give up his life along with the first blood turret here, which is going to spring a 2,000 gold lead over to the side of Despacito 2. And like I said, Red Maelstrom had a decent advantage, had gotten some good ganks off in the bot lane, but simply laning wise, Despacito 2 are very mechanically good in their 2v2s and 1v1s. Gnar solo killing the Mundo, Aurelia getting the solo kill off on Echo while also being 20 CS ahead, and then Vlad and Brand taking the 2v2 fight to the Vayne and Rakan. Vayne isn't a particularly strong pick in the meta as of right now. Kind of surprised to see it out here again, but here we see Red Maelstrom doing what they like to do best, which is objective control, taking down the Rift Herald. But will they give their lives for it? Echo ulting, gonna Chrono Big back into the fight, going to take down Bram, but Echo will lose his life here. Aurelia is just on the side, hitting everyone, doing so much damage, and Volibear will go down, as well as Mundo here, with Despacito 2 collapsing on the team. And things have just gone wrong for Red Maelstrom after some strong early game plays. Just a few oversteps have thrown the lead back into Despacito 2's favor. Aurelia going aggressive onto the 1v2, and she will take down the Vayne there in the mid lane. And Vayne is just not a pick you want to be behind early with the 0-4-2 start here. It's going to be painful to for her to try to get back into this one, with Vlad and Aurelia starting to gain the items that they need here. Brand has been a huge power pick for Despacito 2. They've shown time and time and again that if you do not ban the Brand against them, that they are very comfortable to play it. Aurelia going aggressive once again versus the Echo. Vlad is also here to back him up, but Echo does have Chrono Break here. Vayne facing the 1v1 versus Gnar. Volibear maybe looking to support her here on this one. Volibear going in, gonna flip him off. Gonna get the slow off, just barely gonna lay the smite down. Rakama with the grand entrance. Will that be a kill gifted over to Vayne? Yes, it will, and that will definitely help since she has been so far high, and getting Vayne that first kill of the game is the next step towards Red Maelstrom getting back into this one. But Echo face checking the brush here, but is going to use Chrono Break to be safe, and now Brand is overextended and will go down to Volibear. Will use his ult on them, but it won't be enough. Brand overstepping here, but now Volibear's caught out by the pillar from the Trundle. Volibear trying to run away from this one, and will. Mundo getting some free time in the top lane is just what he needs to get back in this one. So once again, Despacito 2 kind of throwing it towards the way of Red Maelstrom, and Mundo going to take that top turret and get some gold back for his team. But will it be at the cost of an Infernal Drake? Yes, it will, over to the side of Despacito 2, but turret for Infernal Drake seems a little even for me, at least gold wise. Aurelia is continuing to just get stronger and stronger here. So, and on the side of Despacito 2, Gnar with the Executioners and Trundle with the ult will definitely do a lot of work against the front line of Red Maelstrom here. So it does look like both teams are sending their laners back to the standard start. Echo going to face check this bush here with Trundle on a control ward. Has Echo overstepped his boundaries? He's gonna have to Chrono Break, but in the wrong direction here. It does not look good for Echo here. Getting chased down by the Trundle. Will he be able to escape here? I think he will through the bot river. Vlad and Brand were a little preoccupied with fighting for vision on the red side, but Aurelia and Brand are also doing work on the mid lane tier 1 turret, and Red Maelstrom are a little late to answer this. Volibear gonna pop his Q, look for a flip somewhere, ends up flipping a minion, doesn't see a fight that he wants to take here. And now Despacito 2 have grouped up as 5 here in the mid lane, trying to take down this tier 1 turret, but Red Maelstrom have gathered their team around, and now it does appear Despacito 2 are going to shift back to the side lanes. Volibear going to smite onto the Aurelia. Have they caught her out? She is a very mobile champion. She's gonna flash from the grand entrance, gonna lay down the ult. That is a huge ultimate from Brand, doing a ton of damage. Red Maelstrom will take down the Aurelia, but is it at a cost of too much? No, they're still alive. Vayne going to go down to the chomp from the Trundle, but and now Gnar TPing in here. We have some low members on the side of Red Maelstrom. Gnar going to take down, Gnar and Trundle going to take down the Volibear as well as Echo. While that fight started off really well for Red Maelstrom, it ended up backfiring as Gnar was able to TP in and Trundle was able to join late. They just used so many resources trying to catch out the Aurelia. Aurelia was able to stall long enough for her team to join her and clean up the rest of the fight there. But I like the proactive playmaking of Red Maelstrom for sure here. They're definitely just not gonna lay down and let Despacito 2 roll them over. They're looking for plays to make to come back in this game here, and it's really nice to see them try to make a proactive play onto the Aurelia, who is definitely one of the fed hyper carries this game. So Brand though was able to land like such a monumental ulti that got basically 4 of the members of Red Maelstrom extremely low, and while their tanks Volibear and Mundo were able to regen their health from that ultimate, in the end their carries just took way too much damage. Vayne pretty much died to just a Q chomp from Trundle, and Echo was just a few autos away. And once Red Maelstrom's Echo and Vayne are out of the fight, they really don't have much damage in this team comp. So they're definitely heavily relying on Vayne and Echo to do most of the damage for their team. But they do not exactly have the peel support in Huracan, and that is Echo getting caught out by the Aurelia in the bot lane, just overstepping without vision. They're not really respecting that Aurelia could be there in the bot lane. Ooh, Volibear going in onto the Brand, going to burst him down. Vayne gonna get taken really low here from the Vladimir ultimate here. But that is a good catch onto the Brand. But Aurelia is just way too strong for Echo to even be this far up. Like, he cannot be alone with her in a lane this far up. I don't understand why he keeps trying to farm that far up. She has 3 levels on you. The best he can do is just farm at his turret at this point, which would be the inhib turret. And because of that, Despacito 2 are going to pick up the mid lane turret here and grow their gold lead to a 6k gold lead and look to be eyeing Baron here. Actually gonna look to recall first, but Red Maelstrom seem to think that they're looking towards Baron. Now we see Despacito 2 looking to clear out vision around the Baron buff. Aurelia has definitely gained a significant advantage with 7 kills on her team. Has the Trinity Force, has Asterix. It's going to be very hard to take down, and has a lot of damage to fight with here. And with Red Maelstrom's team comp very heavily reliant on the Echo and Vayne to do the damage for them. Echo sitting at 1 and 5, only has the Hextech Gunblade completed. Vayne 2 and 5, only has the Blade of the Ruin King completed. And without much peel on their side, it's going to be very hard for their carries to dish out the damage needed to beat this Despacito 2 team while surviving the damage. I mean, can you imagine tumbling into a Brand ult, a Vladimir ult, a Aurelia ult, and stun? Like, there's just so much to worry about on the side of Despacito 2 with the damage coming out from I mean, Red Maelstrom has so much to worry about coming from Despacito 2. Like, just about every one of their members does damage to you. And so with the 5k gold advantage that Despacito 2 has, as long as they can basically pick out any team fight that they want around vision, which is probably likely what they'll look to do here. I definitely like to see them use their TP here. Oh, Mundo overstepping a little bit here, gonna get stunned up by the Aurelia. The Redemption's going to go down onto the Mundo, but it does appear Vlad has stepped too far here. It's gonna pull. Aurelia so deep though, is going to take down the Vayne. Vlad will go down to the Volibear, but Echo and Vayne have died, and like I said, those are the 2 damage dealers on the side of Red Maelstrom. And Aurelia is just continuing to pop off here with 10 kills already at 23 minutes. Wants to get another one here on the Volibear, but she may have stepped too far. She will get the ace for her team, but will repay the shutdown to the Volibear. Well, I do think Red Maelstrom drafted in iffy comp in the sense that you're basically trusting two people on your team to basically deal all the damage that your team needs to do while being extremely safe. So if this comp ever falls behind, which they obviously have in this game, it makes it extremely hard to come back, honestly, because everyone on the enemy side can basically blow up your carry with one or two abilities, and that's a lot to peel for as well. And having a Rakan isn't exactly the best peel as opposed to like a Karma or Janna who could be shielding them and peeling for them at all times. Um, it's gonna be a rough one. It's definitely gonna be a rough one for Red Maelstrom to come back from, but we've seen them time and time again not afraid to try to get picks here, try to make plays to get themselves back in the game, but it's gonna be very rough. Despacito too, grabbing that Baron scuttle for themselves, gonna be setting up vision around the Baron. Red Maelstrom going to sit on the river bush at mid, looking for a pick once again. They've tried to pick off Aurelia time and time again, but she is just on a different level in this game. Level 14, highest level in the game with Gnar. Meanwhile, Red Maelstrom's mid laner is level 11, which is a 3-level advantage, which is insane. Now a 4-level advantage with Aurelia turning level 15 off that minion wave. So it's definitely not pretty scary to say that Aurelia is humongous right now, and something that Red Maelstrom just have nothing to deal with her jumping onto their backline. Honestly, like, she basically has free access to Vayne every time Rakan goes in. If Rakan doesn't go in, though, they have no form of initiation aside from a Volibear running in. But then if he doesn't have the Rakan follow-up, Volibear only has a flip to really start off a fight, and is looking for one right here. Gonna get stunned up by the Aurelia. Despacito 2 are starting to gather vision around the Baron pit, going to try to get that for themselves. Aurelia looks to be going aggressive, going to be doing a lot of damage to Echo, gonna drop the chrono break, but she has stepped pretty far. But the Brand ult is going to just clean up on the backline here. Vladimir going to be doing a lot of work while Volibear is able to kill the Brand. Oh, this might be Red Maelstrom's tanks being able to clean up here. Gnar going to hop over to prevent himself from dying. Vladimir going to keep healing off his Q. I don't know if these tanks have the damage, honestly, to kill this Vlad without overcommitting too much. He's just going to keep queuing, but I do think he'll eventually go down, and that will be the shutdown gold going over to the Mundo. But in return, Trundle does get a tier 2 top turret. Yeah, something I've definitely noticed out of Despacito 2 is that they don't really use their TP advantage in their top laner correctly when they're ahead like this. I definitely think the smart thing to do here is you have one mid hit, you have a mid inhib open, right? So then you already have supers pressuring the mid lane. So send your 4 members all top lane, have your Gnar bot constantly pressuring while your other 4 members can pressure Baron and top lane at the same time. And basically, once Gnar has pressure on the bot lane turret, your team can easily start Baron, because the enemy team either has to send Mundo to deal with the Gnar in the bot lane, or have to force a fight of some sorts, but risk that Gnar take the bot inhib by himself. Meanwhile, Echo split pushing in the bot lane, gonna grab that first turret for himself, and that's gonna be the Rakan going down preemptively before the fight has even started. And look at Vayne just getting CC'd up here, going to go down. Mundo will most likely go down as well, and that is another team fight win for Despacito 2, and most likely the Baron here. Meanwhile, Echo going to push to the tier 2 bot, but I don't even think he'll put a dent in it without a Lich being completed. His split pushing just isn't really that strong right now, and Despacito 2 are already running up mid. Aurelia looks to be coming in here to kill the Echo. Echo I don't know if he's going to be willing. He's probably going to die for this one, I'd assume. Or not, actually. With the jump plan, I think he's good. Yep, he should be good. Trundle going to try to retake the inhib. Only Rakan there to stop him. Gonna use the Baron Mage. Rakan going to pop the ultimate onto the Trundle, but doesn't really look like it'll be enough. Gonna pop the Grand Entrance. Volibear looking to chase here, but the pillar will stop him in his tracks. Meanwhile, Despacito 2 going to pick themselves up in Earth Drake here. And that is an Earth Drake, Cloud Drake, and an Infernal Drake on the side of Despacito 2, along with the 10k gold lead and Baron. So things do not look too good for Red Maelstrom. Echo getting stopped on his recall here by the Aurelia. Gets blown up so quickly before Echo can even use his Chrono Break. But Red Maelstrom want revenge for their teammate. But Aurelia lands a great 3-man stun there to get out. And gets the kill with Echo and escapes here. This Echo pick has not been paying off too much for Red Maelstrom as it's 1-8. Meanwhile, Aurelia on the side of Despacito 2, 16-4. It's just been a pester on the side of Red Maelstrom, honestly. I think it would be a grave sin for Red Maelstrom to leave this Aurelia pick up again. Either Aurelia or Brand, I would say, would have to be must bans against this team. Despacito 2 have shown a lot of success on the Brand support pick in the past, and it's definitely a strong pick at the moment. Can do a lot of damage, and they've shown the power of it when in team fights. Just hitting your R once can deal significant amounts of damage to the enemy team here. So Despacito 2 making their way to the top lane with the 4 members, with the Gnar in the bot lane, just like I was talking about with his TP. Echo having to answer it here. Meanwhile, supers are pushing up in the mid lane, which Vayne has to answer for. Have to see how fast Despacito 2 are able to take down turrets without really a ranged 80 marksman on their team. Are rocking the 2 mage comps, but Vlad just going to flash forward, take out the Vayne. Volibear also going to go down, Mundo going to go down, and this would have to, I assume, be the team fight that wins the game for Despacito 2 in game 1 of this series of Despacito 2 versus Red Maelstrom. Gnar just going to bully the Echo down into oblivion and look to charge the base of Red Maelstrom for this Rakan. Rakan eventually will go down to Despacito invading the base, and that is a dominant game 1 win by Despacito 2 there. And like I said, I'm still very surprised that Aurelia and Brand were left open for Despacito 2 there. And yeah, Despacito 2 taking game 1 of the series. Definitely Bran and Aurelia were huge pickups there for the side of Despacito 2. Esports, that's what it was. Have to see what changes Red Maelstrom decide to make for their draft. I definitely think that hold on, I don't know how to make mods. How do you make mods? Mods can now update mod levels. Show series. I don't even know how to do mods, I'm sorry. As we wait to start this game 2 of Despacito 2 versus Red Maelstrom, there's definitely a lot to analyze. From the first game, Red Maelstrom were kind of pinched their draft a little bit, kind of funneling all their damage into the AD and mid lane pick. And basically, if either of those picks fell behind or got caught out, they basically had no damage left to kill the rest of the team. So a lot of the times you'd see the tanks be able to kill maybe like Brand or even Vladimir, Aurelia sometimes just to catch out. But once they got that one catch, they just didn't have enough damage to take down the rest of the team. I literally just posted it, bro. Oh, he joined late. On the side of Despacito 2, they picked up basically damage in every lane. I've definitely seen Anchorage, the top laner of Despacito 2, play some pretty decent Gnar. As always, DVSN has grown like a 20 CS lead every game I've seen him play in the mid lane. So, and as we've seen, Despacito 2 are definitely not afraid to play a lot of these, I wouldn't say off meta, but non-traditional marksmen in the bot lane, with the Vlad and the Brand. I believe we've seen them play Brand ADC as well. Actually, no. But we've seen them play both. We've seen them play traditional ADCs as well as things like Vlad and Brand. So we'll have to see what other picks they have up their sleeves. From the rest of the league, we haven't really seen much of that adjustments, but yeah, we'll definitely see what changes Red Maelstrom try to make to fight their way back in game 2 of this best of 3 series. And heading into the draft, it is Despacito 2 on the blue side with Red Maelstrom on the red side here, looking to kick off game 2 of this Alaska Summer Split series. And it will be a Zoe getting first banned out here by Despacito 2. And like I said, the Aurelia getting banned out by Red Maelstrom. She had something around like 17 kills last game, so they definitely do not want to face that again, even after the nerfs in 8.13. And a Talon ban coming out on the side of Despacito 2. Meanwhile, Brand getting taken off the table here. Definitely 2 power picks that we're seeing from the side of Despacito 2 and Brand and Aurelia that they've shown they can play proficiently. So definitely a good idea to take those 2 picks away from them here. And last ban here coming out on the side of Despacito 2, Kaisa. Definitely one of the stronger picks here, but Ginsu's did get nerfed this last patch, and Vlad getting taken off the table. 3 of the 5 power picks from last game getting taken off the table for Despacito 2 that they used successfully here. So most likely going to be looking at a completely new draft here on the side of Despacito 2 with those 3 picks being banned out. And let's see what they first pick here. It's going to be the Galio for themselves here. Galio's definitely see some pro play. Gives themselves a nice split pusher with some global presence, and that can build tanky while doing a good amount of damage for himself. So DVSN has definitely shown some good Galio play as well in this series, and a Kindred on the side of Red Maelstrom. Kindred has slowly been getting buffed patch after patch, so it's definitely interesting to see here. And the Bard coming out on the side of Red Maelstrom. Two really unique picks there. Definitely excited to see that. And the Zac coming out on the side of Despacito 2, while Zac isn't really too strong of a jungle pick right now, with tank junglers kind of somewhat being weak right now. He's not terrible, I think, here. The Zac engage with the Galio combo is definitely something to be wary of, and it's going to be a Bard pickup for the last pick of the first phase of the draft for Despacito 2. So a lot of engage tools on the side of Despacito 2. Meanwhile, let's see what Red Maelstrom decide to pick up for themselves, and it's going to be the Shen. So a lot of peel options from the heavy engage of Despacito 2. You do have a Kindred ult, you have Shen ult, you can use Bard ult defensively. So we've seen that Despacito 2 love to pick their fights and love to engage when they can. So picking some defensive champions to help counter that engage will definitely be interesting here. Callista being taken off the board here. That might be a scouting wise one, because I honestly haven't seen too much Callista in pro play at all, and I haven't seen her much ranked wise as well, so kind of confusing ban there. But you know, we don't know what they've scouted. So, and then a Darius game ban on the side of Red Maelstrom, maybe being scared that it could get picked bot lane, with the Shen almost certain being top lane with the Bard and Kindred locked in here. So Red Maelstrom going to throw the Twitch ban out there as well. He did get buffed this past patch, although I have yet to see how much of a buff it was really. So, but definitely some interesting bans here, most likely player based from scouting. So let's see what the last ban is gonna be coming out of Despacito 2 here. It's going to be the Xayah ADC here. So Xayah is definitely one of those picks that can counter a lot of the engage coming out of Despacito 2. So I can definitely see why they wouldn't want to face that. And let's see what Red Maelstrom want to lock in here. And the Vayne once again. I just don't know how I feel about this pick, honestly. An Ornn game picked up in the top lane, and that's a lot of engage, a lot of beefy front line that Vayne will need to take out here. So gonna have to see it do well. And the Lucian being picked up, the Lucian and Braum lane, definitely a scary lane to go against, with Lucian being the Lucian passive being able to proc Braum's passive very quickly. Yeah, definitely looks like a really good draft, team fighting draft on the side of Despacito 2, and the Kale being picked up in the mid lane for the side of Red Maelstrom. So Red Maelstrom picking the Vayne again, but this time they've definitely picked a lot more peel for her. They have the Shen ult, they have the Kale ult, they have the Kindred ult to keep her alive for as long as possible. But once again, I do believe they're kind of pinching all their damage. But they do have a Kindred this time. They do have a Kale that will also be doing a lot of damage. So that gives themselves like 3 damage dealers that can do a lot of damage for their team, as opposed to the Echo and Vayne that they had last game with no real dedicated peel. So a lot of what I think Red Maelstrom is going for is going to be counter engage to the hard engage on the side of Despacito 2 with the Ornn, with the Zac, with the Galio. It's going to be a lot of frontline tanks in Red Maelstrom's face if they cannot deal with the side of Despacito 2. But laning wise, I think Vayne Bard should do fine against Lucian Braum. Galio Kale should be able to kind of just farm up. We've seen Kale come out a lot in these funnel strats that we've seen in pro play. Obviously, it's not going to be a funnel strat here, or else we'd see like Kale with Smite and like Nunu jungler around that some sorts. But yeah, definitely interested to see, because both these comps kind of polar opposites. On the side of Despacito 2, you've got a lot of hard engage, a lot of global follow-up from the Galio. On the side of Red Maelstrom, you have a Shen who can also match that global presence, along with the Kale, with the TP as well, that will be able to match the Galio. So yeah, I actually like how Red Maelstrom drafted this round. A lot more counter engage and a lot more protection for their Vayne this time around. So if Vayne doesn't fall too far behind this game, we can definitely see her carry this game for her team. Definitely a lot of tools to keep her alive. I think the big matchup we'll have to look for is in the mid lane, where we saw a huge deficit in terms of CS laning wise, as well as Aurelia just popping off. I don't think DVSN is on as much of a carry champion as he was last game, where we saw the Aurelia kind of hyper carry the game. She was just killing people everywhere. Galio's a little more on the utility side, so we'll have to see how Despacito 2 does, because we've seen in other matches that when they decide to put DVS, and at least on like a Lulu pick or something, maybe not as hyper carry, they've kind of struggled a little bit if they do fall behind. So we'll see if they are able to adjust here and get this W. 1 second, guys. I'm going to be right back. Alright, so let's go into loading screen. Like I said before, this is game 2 of the Alaska Summer split between Despacito 2 on the blue side and Red Maelstrom on the red side here. So Despacito 2 is up 1-0 in the series, so if they win this game, they do take it home. For them in the top lane, they've got Anchorage on the Ornn, Lemonade on the Zac, DVSN on the Galio in the mid lane. In the bot lane, they've got Wooples on Lucian and Godsent on Santa Braum. For Red Maelstrom, they've got Keurig Gaia 907 on the Shen in the top lane. Super Galaxy Kindred, played by Internal Malice in the jungle. Shade Knight playing Kale in the mid lane. De La Phil playing Vayne in the bot lane. And last but not least, we've got Hunchback playing Elderwood Bard at support. Let's get this game going, guys. Really hyped to see if Red Maelstrom are able to fight back and tie up this series, or if Despacito 2 can close it out here. Sorry, my computer's a potato, so it might take a second. So as we get the teams loaded up here, Kindred gonna flash that EVOS flare for the boys in Vietnam. Gonna fix this real quick. Looks like Despacito 2 are pinging a invade straight up the mid lane, which we saw them do against Timo's Merry Men twice. So, or actually all 3 games they did this. So let's see if they are able to catch anyone out here. Vayne going to get spotted here. Ooh, Bard going to land a very clutch stun, but Braum going to land the Q onto him. Can they follow up though? No, it does look like the Bard Q there is going to delay them enough for to keep Despacito 2 from pushing any further. Braum is definitely one of those strong invade champions with his passive, especially with the Lucian. Can definitely get a lot of picks in the early game. It does look like they just wanted to scout out Kindred's starting buff, which so Despacito 2 are going to have that information for themselves that Kindred is starting blue side. So let's see what their jungler decides to do with that information, whether he decides to change up his pathing or whatnot. So otherwise, pretty standard start. Galio already getting aggressive, looking to shove up that mid lane. Both bot lanes leashing for their junglers. Kindred looks to be going straight for a scuttle here, while Zach decides to go for Raptors. Have to see if he decides to fight for the top scuttle as well. Unlikely though, because Zach isn't too good early, and Kindred does have a little bit more dueling power for sure. It does appear Kindred will pick up that mark and that first scuttle for herself, so definitely feels good as Kindred to at least secure 1 scuttle for her passive stacks. It looks like Zach's going to go from the red to Raptors to a top scuttle start, basically securing a scuttle for himself. Kindred going to lock down the Gromp, so by the time pretty much going a full clear here, it looks like getting wolves. Zach also gonna lay down some vision for his Ornn here. Shen did get an early game push, but might be a little bit too overextended. Zach level 2 here, gonna go start hitting away his blue. Kindred's first mark is actually going to be onto the Zach, so have to see if she is looking to go aggressive here. Going to pick up her red after clearing her complete bot side. So to see what moves they decide to make here. Bot lane looks to be in the favor of Despacito 2 with themselves getting that shove early. Look to lay down some wards to protect themselves as well. I think red Maelstrom's comp definitely scales pretty well into the late game if they can get there. If they get a really good early game lead, I definitely think that their comp is hard to stop if they play everything correctly for sure. I'm really interested to see how this Kindred pick works, because we've seen her slowly patch to patch just receive buff after buff and slowly make her way back into the meta, so I haven't seen too much of her just yet to exactly say what I think of her, but definitely a good pick. Oh, Galio going aggressive here. Zach is also here as well. Going to, I think, miss the Q onto... Oh, I don't even think she needed to flash there. Even if Zach lands the knock up onto the kill, he already missed his Q, so it wasn't much threat there. Bard going to get locked up by the passive. Has the Ignite ticking. Braum going to flash there and secure the first blood for himself. Going to flash the emo with the VM there as well. And secure first blood for Despacito 2 in the bot lane. Bard just kind of disrespecting the Braum passive there. Basically stood within auto range for Braum to get his passive off onto him. So have to see what Red Maelstrom decide to do here. Kindred looking for a gank in the mid lane. Has the red buff ticking. Galio's W going to pop there. Gonna use the flash to get out. Zac is here. Going to land the Q. Knock them together. But I don't think Galio really can commit to this. He's super low on health. Super low on mana. Yeah, so good gank by Kindred there. Getting Galio's flash. Relieving some of this pressure built up from the first gank that Zac did. Bard roaming up to the mid lane as well. Zac just going to hop his way out, and he is safe. And now Vayne stuck farming minions under her turret already. Oh, sorry about that. Zac ain't enough here, but the Galio coming in, going to knock up the Braum, and that is tragic for the side of Red Maelstrom as Kindred and Bard both go down for their troubles. Going for an aggressive invade, not respecting that Galio had hit level 6 there and could join at any time. Extremely tragic for the side of Red Maelstrom there. And Despacito 2 grows their gold lead to a 2,000 gold lead. Shen going aggressive there. Going to take a bit of damage. I'm not entirely sure he won that trade. Ornn does have the Sheen for himself, so he does do a fair bit of damage here that you just have to respect. It appeared Kindred and Bard thought they could catch out Zac in his jungle, clearing his raptors, but did not respect the fact that Galio was level 6 there. Kindred going to take the blue buff for herself. Zac looking to fight for this Braum. Also there as well. Bard has the magical journey out, and Zac secures the scuttle. Or actually no, Kindred got it, so. Yeah, never mind. But just laning wise, Despacito 2 have kind of shown that they're really strong individually laning. Lucian and Braum got that 2v2 kill earlier, setting the Vayne behind. Bard getting caught out again. Shen gonna have to pop the ulti here to save the Bard. Gonna hit the jump plant over him to maybe look for a re-engage here. And Lucian just gonna flash past the Shen, kill the Braum. Shen now locked up in a bad spot. Ornn TPing in here as well. Vayne going to pop the flash to escape. Not sure Galio getting aggressive onto the Kale here. But Kale really is just tickling this Galio. He's so tanky here. Trying to slap him. Trying to trade back. Kindred going to get aggressive here. Gonna get knocked up by the Ornn. Oh, this could be good for Red Maelstrom. Despacito 2 have definitely overstepped here. Kindred going to pop the ulti here, and that will be 2 kills on the side of Red Maelstrom. Despacito 2 kind of just getting really thirsty there for some kills, and Red Maelstrom able to punish them for that, and that definitely was something they needed. Kindred picking up the kill there as well as Vayne. So 2 of your 80 carries able to pick up kills there to get them back to relevancy. Let's look as we see again. CS wide, Ornn's got a 12 CS lead over Shen. Kindred's 4 CS or so. Galio doing some work, getting a good trade off here, forcing the flash out of Kale. I'm not sure. I think Kale could have just popped her ult there and walked away, but decides to expend her flash there instead, which is a lot longer cooldown than her ult, so kind of worrisome there. Shen getting a decent trade-off onto the Ornn here. Does have the Tiamat completed, so he is respectable here. Braum going to whiff on the ulti there. Vayne going to heal to survive. And in the bot lane, Vayne and Braum continue to dominate the bot lane of Red Maelstrom as Lucian has grown a 32 CS lead. Kindred getting taunted up, but she is under her turret. Zac is going to join in on the fight, and Kale doesn't even have time to use her ult there. And that's just small mistakes like that. Like, Kale does have ult still up and isn't able to use it in time. Zac going in again. Does have the passive, I believe, available. But will he be able to heal here? Going to taunt up. Does Kindred have ult? Very sure Kindred had ult there as well, but I think she was taunted up and could not use it there. Ornn getting aggressive onto the Shen. Ooh, does look like one more auto from Ornn should be enough to secure this. Oh, Shen getting definitely some interesting trades here in the top lane from the Shen and the Ornn. Ooh, Bard going to flash ignite and get this kill onto the Braum. Some supportal combat right there. And Anchorage there, not sure. I think he could have gotten that solo kill right there, but kind of tragic there. Bard trying to make some plays around the map. Kindred gonna barely secure that scuttle. It lived with 1 health before 2 autos took it. Yeah, we've got 5 kills on the side of Red Maelstrom with 6 on the side of Despacito 2, but just straight farming and whatnot. Despacito 2 already have a 2,000 gold lead. It's most evident, I believe, in the bot lane where Lucian has got himself a 24 CS lead for himself against the Vayne. We know Vayne's a late game champ though, and as long as she doesn't get too far behind. But Kale getting caught out here, gonna have to pop the ulti, but it won't be enough as Lucian and Braum are able to take her down without flash. Shen going to taunt up the Ornn here. Nothing much gets done though. Braum going to hit onto the Kindred. Kindred going to pop the ulti here. Braum going to ult everyone here, and Shen is able to get in, but it might just be too late here. Despacito 2 are playing this dive pretty well up until Shen gets that kill, but Galio getting the triple kill for himself. Now with 6 kills on himself. That is definitely not who you want to have with 6 kills, as Galio's just going to start split pushing here and going to be able to 1v1 his way here. Oh, Zac looking for another kill. Galio still has a hold and kill, getting taken down again. Now 0-3, and once again it is the mid lane for Red Maelstrom that seems to be the focal point for Despacito 2. I feel like they saw that role as a weakness last game and have gone back to focusing her for sure. Zac has definitely been mid a lot this game, as Galio does have excellent gank setup for him. It makes it easy for him to land all of his abilities, so it's just been rinse and repeat mid lane for Zac and Galio here, and it's shown in the scoreboard with Galio 7 kills and Kale sitting at 0-3-0 on the game so far. Red Maelstrom kind of getting some control wards down around Dragon, but Despacito 2 sniff it out. Regain vision control over the Dragon Pit here. Once again, Bard has slowly grown his CS lead to about 20 CS lead for himself. Meanwhile, Galio has also basically grown a 20 CS lead, while Lucian's pushing almost 40 over Vayne. So you can see that even though Despacito 2 only has a 1 turret advantage, they have like a 5k gold lead just from farm alone. So Zach going to get a hop, not going to hit anyone, but going to land the Q onto the Bard and the Vayne. Galio also going to, and the 2 from gonna hit his Glacier onto one member, but they don't want to dive too deep here. Despacito 2 have shown the ability to get a little over aggressive on their dives at times and have been punished for it. Decide not to go too deep there, decide to play a little bit more safer, get the dragon for themselves. Galio's going to TP top lane, save the top lane turret there, but Red Maelstrom meanwhile decide to counter with the Rift Herald here. So hopefully that'll help themselves pick up something. Oh, Vayne getting caught out by that Ornn ulti here. Gonna have to flash out though. Shen and Bard look to try to catch out Galio, but I don't know if they have enough damage, honestly. Bard might go down here. Going to die to the Galio. Shen could also go down as well. No, he will not. Gonna have the Tiamat. Tiamat is going to be enough. Meanwhile, Bard is picking a fight with the two. I don't know about that. Oh, Shen gonna land the taunt, gonna flash out there, but so yeah, good play on Red Maelstrom to catch out Despacito there. I'm not sure what Braum was doing exactly. I think he was trying to catch vision, but didn't respect that Kindred and Bard could be there. Got caught out. Galio went aggressive, or I mean the Kale and Kindred caught out the Bard, but Braum and Shen decided to go on to the Galio there. Galio ended up killing Bard, but could not 2v1 in that situation. Ended up giving up his life, so it ends up being a 2-for-1 for the side of Red Maelstrom, for which at this point you'll take anything you can get on the side of Red Maelstrom. Galio's getting online right now with 8 kills. Vayne does have her board completed. Shen going to taunt in here. This might be a good fight for Red Maelstrom. Ooh, Ornn going to land a 3-man Nova. Galio's also ulting in here as well. Bard just gonna ult them to stop any further engagement, and it looks like Despacito 2 are going to go for the top lane tier 1 turret, and there's not much Despacito 2 can do about it with Kale split pushing in the bot lane. Ooh, Ornn going to put down the ult, going to whiff it completely, but Galio going to flash taunt onto 3 people. Shen going to get the ult onto the Kindred, and like I said, Red Maelstrom have definitely been smarter about their draft this game, drafting things that can counter engage the side of Despacito 2, and that's exactly what they did. Despacito 2 trying to engage there, and the side Kill can not win this, but she does get the turret though, and I think that's what she wanted to go for. So she's successful in getting the turret, does die again, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see if that ends up being worth for them. They're still facing stifling 20 CS leads in just about every lane, so we'll need to see them kind of play safe here, just want to farm up. You have 2 scaling great late game champions in the Kale and Vayne. Because they're behind right now, I would like to not see them really try to pick fights, kind of just try to back off when they can, take picks when they're given to you, and just kind of play safe and let Vayne and Kale scale up here. But it will be interesting to see how much Despacito 2 lets them do that. Despacito 2 have so much engaged on the side of their comp that you've seen time and time again that Galio isn't afraid to charge in. Ooh, Ornn and Shen in a 1v1 again, going to hit the ultimate onto the Shen. Shen getting some Tiamat autos, gonna miss the taunt. It's Zach going in onto the Kindred, going to knock them up. Bard ulting in count as a counter. Kindred going to lay the ult down, but they will lose their tier 2 bot turret in that scenario. And once again, Shen and Ornn just going at it, each missing their respective charges. Shen missing his E dash in, Ornn missing his charge every now and then. These tank fights are really spicy, to be honest. Ooh, Shen taunting in. Does he just keep going, I think? Almost certain Shen could have just kept going there, but I don't know. Shen going to taunt up again, gonna use the W, negate any autos, and that will be Kurgaya down to 17 down Anchorage for the solo kill in the top lane. And like I said, Red Maelstrom behind in this game right now. Basically just take any advantage you can, and getting a solo kill for Shen there, definitely gonna put him in a good spot here to be able to split push and use his global pressure. One second, guys. So with the Infernal Drake going live, it does look like Despacito 2 has control over it. I don't really think Red Maelstrom has the resources right now to fight for this, but Bard is going to try to squeeze a Q in there. But Galio's going to taunt Bard up. Shen going to try to ult him to keep him alive. Kindred also going to pop the ult there as well, but Vayne is on the other side of the blue pit and really can't get into this. And Red Maelstrom used so many resources trying to save Bard there that it really just ends up costing them there. Bard kind of just went overextended there, getting caught, and they used so many resources. Used the Shen ult, used the Kindred ult, and Bard just portals out anyways. Zach going to go in here, going to take down the Vayne. And Despacito 2 continue to roll in on this comp. Lemonade has shown a great deal of expertise on this Zag pick, being able to engage from spots that the enemy just doesn't see, and just punishing Red Maelstrom for not really deep warding where they should if you're going to be playing against a Zag. Meanwhile, Galio and Lucian going to take down the bot and here, and just step by step, much cleaner game from Despacito 2. Gonna start grouping up now with the Ornn. And as Despacito 2 backs here, Ornn does have TP up, so the smart thing would be to send Ornn to the bot lane and just pressure that while the rest of his team just pressures Baron, basically does a Baron dance between top and Baron. With the top tier 2 still open, definitely want to send 4 people here, have Ornn with the bot lane pressure, with the TP available, and basically deep ward. Oh, Zach going in again, but maybe step too close here. Kale going to ult or flash out there. Ornn going to charge in, but doesn't hit anyone. Gonna have to flash out, and this is a fiesta if I've seen one. Shen going in, each tank taking a turn to go in and then flash out back to his team here. Yeah. It was definitely interesting to see Ornn go in here and then flash out here, and then Shen taunt in here and then flash out here. Braum going to put the shield out, block most of the damage coming out of Red Maelstrom. Vayne It's just farming. Zach going in. Bard actually going to land a decent ultimate on the backside, but it might not be enough here as Despacito 2 are just ravaging the side of Red Maelstrom here, and that will be 2 deaths on the side of Red Maelstrom here with the Shen and the Kindred. Oh, 3 deaths actually. Kale, Kindred, and the Shen going down here. So, yeah, I'm just not too much a fan of the Vayne pick. Not really going to do well in lane unless you put her with something that, unless you just really have like a really good Vayne player, it definitely try to get out of laning phase and just try to go even, but just too much engaged tools on the side of Despacito 2 with the Zac, with the Galio. Zac has been finding so many angles into these team fights while Bard just going down for no reason right there. Yeah, just seen that a little bit too much out of Bard this game. Just not respecting the all-in potential of the enemy team, and then just basically just getting called out too much, really. And meanwhile, DVSN once again being a huge carry for his team. Zac maybe overstepping here, going for the blue belt. Oh, but is just going to use his max range E to get out of there in time and just jump out. You'd have to think next up on the table for the side of Despacito 2 would be the Baron. Because of their overstay, though, they do leave the tier 1 mid exposed, and Red Maelstrom is going to capitalize on that. Zac looking for an engage angle once again, going to jump in here, gonna get the Q, look to attach it to someone, gonna be the Kindred here, or gonna land a knockup onto both as well, and that will be the Kindred and Vayne dying before they even get a chance to really do anything. Shen went in deep onto the back line with no follow-up from his team really available, with them CC'd in the back like that. And now Despacito 2 basically TPing into the mid lane, looking to finish off this game with the death timers on the side of Red Maelstrom. This should be Despacito 2 taking this game to making a clean sweep of a 2-0 versus Red Maelstrom. Going to lock up the rest of Red Maelstrom. Ooh, Galio going to taunt in there, going to some good CC. Vayne trying to do her best double lift impersonation, 1v4ing to save the game, Zac, but just doesn't have enough damage here. Just tickling the likes of Despacito 2. Will take the Braum with her, but Despacito 2 says you can take our Braum, but we will take your Nexus here eventually. Before they kill everyone, apparently. And that will be the Nexus going down as Despacito 2 wins this series against Red Maelstrom 2-0 in a clean sweep in the Alaska Summer Split. So that does improve Despacito's 2-2-1 on the season, while Red Maelstrom falls to 1-2. That's going to be all from me, folks. This is Christian Marcali with the UAA Esports Club. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, follow us on Twitch. We'll be streaming games throughout the regular season when we have the chance to. But yeah, definitely stay tuned, follow us, and until next time.